Section 3. Now I will be inviting Engineer Anirban Datta. He is a practicing consultant in power, steel, oil, and gas and building sector. He is the founder and CEO of PMECAS Engineering Solutions, and consulting to DCPL, CS, and other abroad. And he is specialized in design of critical piping and pressure vessels. Over to Mr. Datta. Uh, just 10 minutes. Please conclude in 10 minutes.
Thank you, sir. It's really good afternoon, the dignitaries on the dais, and it's really been a very fortunate opportunity for me to present some aspects on comprehensive approaches to energy efficiency in grill building, starting right from design, construction, operations, and technological integration. Now, in this comprehensive approach, if we move ahead to the various aspects, and as practically there is very little, less things are left after the address of Engineer V. Suresh, as usual. So he has covered all the aspects associated with this. Now, if we see how integrated and collaborative approaches can be taken up, encompassing all the disciplines of engineering, because the green building and the energy efficiency measures in particular are no way the subject in isolation for architects or civil and structural engineers or the MEP engineers. Because today, in a scenario like globally, if we see the buildings or the built environment are responsible for nearly 40% of the emissions related to energy consumption. And 35% of the generated electricity is consumed in the built environment. If we focus on the India scenario, in the financial year 2024-25, the per capita energy consumption in India was 1,460 kilowatt hour. And it has been a growth of 52.6% compared to the year 2013 and 14. Again, in spite of this rapid growth, due to the massive urbanization and industrialization, this number is still behind the global average of the developed countries. Now, because of the population, because India's population, nearly 140 crore odd population, and this is still increasing, and again the per capita energy consumption is getting increased day by day due to the industrialization, due to the commercial facilities coming up, all the infrastructural aspects. Now, if we continue to, as we continue to develop, the immense and growing demand, heavily driven by the, particularly in the built environment, is due to the HVAC system. Because now we all see, due to the effect of climate change, every household is having multiple number of air conditioners, which was not even 30 years back, 25 years back, when we were in our childhood. Even our previous generation, like Well sir or Suresh sir, they have not probably, were not accustomed in air conditioners in domestic households. Now, what is the effect? Because in mathematics, in the language of mathematics, this is a circular function. Due to the global warming, our sense of comfort that has been reduced. We are not being able to stay without air conditioner. And again, these air conditioners are again emitting the greenhouse gases in the environment. So X has become a function of Y and Y has become a function of X. Now, if we see the consolidated design approach, first, if we see the building energy consumption, it is 40% we have discussed. Another part in the built environment which is accountable for huge energy consumption, that is the water consumption. So if we conserve and reuse water, we can reduce the energy consumption, because to produce the treated municipal water, a considerable amount energy is expended. And this water and energy nexus, that is very, very crucial in the context of green building. Now, if we go for the architectural design, Dr. Madhuraj Yadav is my fellow panelist. It's her domain, that passive design. Architectural passive design, which can use the natural ventilation, natural lighting, and many other facilities that lower U value of the wall and window to wall ratio, if that can be reduced, that can also substantially reduce the heat envelope in the building. And all these things with the strict compliance with the ECBC directives, and as already Suresh sir has mentioned, and high performance civil envelopes. Because just an example, an U value of 0.44 watt per meter square per Kelvin can yield up to a 75% reduction in heat gain compared to conventional walls. Now, this is also an interdisciplinary area to focus. We can decouple the heat from the light by utilizing double or triple glazed units with low emissivity coatings. And for active MEP systems, we deploy high coefficient of performance chillers. That is also very, very important, with variable frequency drives. And on the plumbing side, installation of ultra low flow fixtures like 3x6 liters dual flush toilets, low flow urinals, and aerated faucets, limiting to the flow of 2 to 4 liter per minute, that can also conserve water substantially. And it can be to the extent of 40%. Now, this pictorial and this infographics, what I have said, this very precisely but comprehensively this describes all this part. So I am not going into deeper on this, as you all can see that how the energy efficient equipment, how the passive architecture and the natural lighting and natural ventilation that can reduce this, that has the potential to reduce this energy consumption pattern. Now, moving back to, because being a mechanical engineer, when I joined IBC, I was a bit skeptical that what I would be able to what extent I will be able to contribute. But later on, I have seen so many mechanical engineers under the canvas of IBC, like Onkar and many other. So now coming back to this energy efficiency, entering into the subject of civil engineers, Dr. Anil Joseph, he has given an excellent presentation, and Dr. Manoranjan Mishra in the first session, entering into their subject, that few things we need to see that during construction, how this can be minimized.
2 minutes, please.
Yes. This construction phase is traditionally resource intensive, but usage of efficient dust suppression and recycling of water, and also eradication of diesel power driven construction power, that can also reduce the energy consumption. Now, water use as a lean construction practice, of course, our Dr. Manoranjan Mishra, he is an expert in this subject, so that can also reduce the carbon footprint of the construction. Now, one part is there, that is accounting of the greenhouse gas emission, that is scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emissions, because in even the operation of a green building, or before that, the construction of the green building, this scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emissions can play a significant role in reduction of the emissions. And these accounting practices must be integrated with the not only in the design phase, but in the operational phase as well. Now, coming to the integration of the technology with BIM, building management system, IoT, and finally AI, because today everything is evolving around the next gen technologies. So integrated building management system can play a very, very significant role in monitoring the entire life cycle of the asset. Because many of you might be aware that IBCs have already drafted a handbook on BIM. Now finally to the economics part. So in case of an energy efficient green building design, construction and operation, there may be initial capex that may be a bit higher. But ultimately, we can leverage the building's energy consumption, reduction in building energy consumption to the extent of 30 minutes and water cost to the extent of 50 to 60 minutes. Dr. Anil Joseph in the first session, he has mentioned a very important point. Maybe the next world war will be on the crisis of water globally. So combine these effects. This can be not very high payback period. This can be achieved within 3 to 5 years of payback period. And it can also lead to a reduced maintenance and it can enhance the integrated asset value. Because we all are, our main focus at this point of time for a life cycle asset approach, not only on the initial investment. So these are the basically conclusion and the
Please
sustainability
conclude.
roadmap. And for thanking you all for this.
दत्ता जी को मेमेंटोस प्रदान करें। डॉक्टर यादव को मेमेंटो देने के लिए दिलीप बेगोनिया जी, ऐसी सर दिलीप बेगोनिया जी कृपया मंच पर आएं। मुद्रा यादव जी को मेमेंटोस प्रदान करें।